Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chupacabra's Lair. I'm your host, Larry the Chupacabra, and happy holidays. The holiday season's upon us, along with the New Year's and a whole bunch of other winter festivities, and we're going to be kicking off a bunch of that with the Part 5 of our Ludum Dare 31 series, taking a look at a bunch of games that tackle the question, how do you create a game around an entire game on one screen? And I think our first game here, Katana or Katana, is a play on words because we're a cute little kitty cat with a katana. We're like a ninja in this isometric world. And this game, despite having a fun little perspective switch that kind of jangled with my head for a while, it's got this really cool dynamic loading thing that loads the environment into the same screen. And it's almost like you're living in a piece of Reboot or something out of Tron, where you're in like an actual physical manifestation or visualization of what it's like to exist inside of a games cartridge. And this game is done up by Bernard Stouls, and 3D sound and 3D animations by Itan Makowski, animation by Stefan Videlo, and more delectable 2D art by Anis Maamar. And so I'm going to show you. This is like the coolest thing I've seen for like a way to dynamically load in terrain. Look at that. It's a combination of like pixel art and 3D rendered like environment and characters, and they're all little cute like animal people. And I think that's actually one of those Deku Tree like seed shooters from Zelda Majora's Mask. This was cool. This was literally like playing an experimental game from like the mid-90s, early or like late 80s, and this was really awesome. This kind of jangled with my head a little bit and gave me a really fun vibe. And funny enough, even though I didn't really like most of that movie, this game reminded me a lot of the movie Cloud Atlas, namely the story in a far-flung future, and I think it was like Korea or maybe Tokyo, and not just because this game takes place in like a Neo-Tokyo. And in that really weird future, humankind was like genetically engineered for like purity and purpose, and everyone kind of ate like a protein that was refactored from like humans, so it was kind of like Soylent Green. And so, like, throw in something like this, and we're like some cat in Neo-Tokyo, and the Triad has stolen a device that, like, genetically refactors people and allows them to be engineered and cloned for, you know, use as civil servants or, you know, as members of the Triad because they're really good at, you know, let's say, you know, fighting because it's, like, programmed into their DNA. And in order to free the people of this Neo-Tokyo from the tyrannical rule of a prime minister who's gone mad with power, we have to steal that code module, that DNA resequencing module from the Triad, that in turn has stolen it from him because they, I don't know, what does an evil organization all about crime want to do with a genetic reprocessor? I don't know, but we're going to find out in this crazy world. And this is non-linear, room to room, and it's great. I love this. It's a fun mix, and this just blew my mind. I'll be completely honest with you. What was that? Do I need to do something with this platform? Huh. Alright, so that opens up the pathway. I think I came in from the bottom, and we're just going around collecting items. I played this for a while beforehand, and I got just the teeniest, tiniest bit lost. But no, it's strong. All the characters are really cute. Look at this. They're all little cute pig monsters. Come on, why can't I stab you? There we go. And you really can't, you don't have to worry too much about getting cornered or losing a level or a room, because you can just hit reset if you get trapped or stuck or if you get killed. And you can start the room over from scratch. So it's a very forgiving game, while at the same time, the hardest part for me has been handling this really weird sort of isometric perspective that they give you. It janks with Larry's head big time. Now, the one gripe I have about this is I think it needs like a little cartridge-esque retro map of some kind. Because it gets supremely easy after a little while to get lost. Like, I'm already feeling like I don't know which direction to go. Oh, hello. I go through here. That was different. But I couldn't tell you which way I came in here after like 1 or 2 rooms. I get supremely lost. And compared with my first time playing this, I think this is actually like the rooms are the same, but the doorways spawn in a different random configuration, so you don't have like a set in stone way of going through the level each time. Which could make this very confusing without some kind of map in order to orient yourself. Other than that, this has got really awesome art, and it's got really strong sound, and it's made by a really cool group of people. And this is great. I think if you like added a big old story to this, and a few abilities, like maybe instead of having this weird charge up AoE, like you're some sort of Tron disc throwing ninja man, or maybe it's a woman. I don't necessarily know how to gender a cat if I can't see its undercarriage. But then you could just add like that, and maybe you could use a ninja flip, switching your main attack from space to your arrow keys, or maybe E. And then you could like ninja flip over people and throw like smoke grenades. Not just any smoke grenades though, it has to be like Neotopia smoke grenades. And you could use that to fight off these cute little critters. It's like everything loads around you. It reminds me, actually, this reminds me of this country dinner playhouse I went to on a field trip as a kid. I think it was like elementary school or middle school. And you go into that country dinner playhouse, and when they switch scenes, they dim the lights in the room. The stage is in the center of the room for only a couple seconds. But when they bring the lights on, the entire set has changed. And there's either new actors or the existing actors have already switched costumes. And that just blew my mind. Well, I went back later, much later, when I was a lot older, and it turned out that what they did was there was a hole in the ceiling and the stage lifted up on hydraulics. They switched everything out really fast. Holy crap, that's a lot of ninjas. There we go. That's 2 of them down. Run, 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 you cute little cat man. Okie doke. Nope, let me stab you. Oh, this is crazy. But they were able to, using that hydraulic lift that was you know, so well lubricated that it didn't make a single noise, in order to quickly swap in and out set pieces and everything. And that's exactly what this feels like, you know. The entire set of like a stage play is unfolding around you, and that is really cool. So nice job, Bernard and crew. That was really flippin' awesome. I'm gonna try and sneak up here. Ouch. Ow, okay, stop it, ninjas. I want the Game Boy Color Advance 3D Semper Fi Nanomite 350. Okay? It blends through dimensions, and I want it. But yeah, no, you add like a story to this, and some other pieces just like that, and you've got an amazing little platformer. But you definitely need in this game some way to orient yourself in space, like a map. Other than that, I have no qualms with this. This is fun. Add some more enemies, some like mini boss enemies and a boss, and some more abilities you can unlock through crazy like futuristic nanotechnology. And this is absolutely delectable. Very nice job, Bernard and crew. Alrighty, next up on our wayward adventure is Limberjacks. And those aren't lumberjacks. No. These are acrobatic tree-chopping champions. They took gymnastics in high school and college and a little bit of theater, and they are able to limberly roam about the woods, murdering things. And this is an online multiplayer game done up by Juso Hiatality. I'm probably mispronouncing that. I'm going to be butchering these names the entire jam. My apologies. And so let's just jump right in here and take us a look. So we spawn deep within the frozen north on a moonlit night with the full moon. and there's something slopping and slapping around in the darkness. And no, it's not Jack Frost playing pocket soccer, because he's lonely up in the frozen north. Nay, Frosty the Snowman got into the old zombie juice again, and he's feeling extra saucy with us. And we've got to hack through all of these evil, frigid denizens of the night before they overwhelm us and attempt to eat my delicious organs. I believe they want my spleen. I'm told it tastes like beef jerky with just a little bit of nutmeg. And that's the ticket for the holiday season. It's like having eggnog with a little bit of nutmeg on the top, which is one of Larry's favorite beverages. And of course, it wouldn't be a party if we didn't invite the friendly, gigantic tree with murder arms, who looks like he's wearing a headset of Beats by Jack Frost. Now, all is not lost. Our fire pit is useful if the snowmen walk near it. Some of them will melt until it goes out, so we won't get overrun just yet. But no, this is fun. I liked this. Unfortunately, I was never able to get the multiplayer aspect of it to work, and it took me a very long time before I could successfully beat this game without getting hacked in two by that gigantic tree, who is quite evil. Like right there, he just cut my spleen right in half, so we'll try again. And it's got pretty good sound, and the post that was linked to me when this was suggested for a showcase video was all about how they did the whooshing sound, which was made by blowing into a microphone, I can't recall what kind, and then doing some edits. So the sounds are creative, and I like this sort of online, almost arena-type setting. And what this really reminded me of was, I don't know if you've seen the local multiplayer game of Crawl, which had one of the coolest indie trailers I've seen in a long time, but that was a game that had a very similar 8-bit art style. Maybe this is 16-bit. Sometimes I'd lose track of the difference. And it was all about playing not just against your friends, but with your friends, because somebody had control of a human being, and somebody had control of evil traps because they were like ghosts of the old gods, like Cthulhu-style old gods, that were interested in taking control of a human form and eating its flesh to gain its mortality. Because, you know, the cool thing, what all the young people are doing, is they're possessing a dead body and regaining their flesh and fighting each other and trying to best the old... Oh, the frickin' snowman got me again. Best the old gods and fight them off. And the tree's up here. Now, I liked that concept. I'm thinking that this game would be fantastic, not necessarily if it had a hard-coded storyline, but if you could play in like a subtle... it kind of has a story, kind of doesn't, almost like Dark Souls. And what I was thinking of is this felt very Bruce Campbell-y, with like Army of Darkness. I'm a lonely limberjacking woodsman. I just got a job in the frozen tundra. I came out like a week early so that I could get situated before I went out into the Canadian-Alaskan wilderness. And wouldn't you know it, I came in just as a witch's coven was trying to cast a dark and sinister spell, and, well, the snowmen are walking the night with the souls of the dead or something. And so I just have to, with my slew of friends that can be unlocked by having other people play with you online, have to defeat different sorts of bosses and different dynamically spawned areas in order to defeat the now dead spirits of the witches, like maybe the construction company I was going to work for. Frickin' snowmen. I beat this before by just like slinking through the snowmen by axing them constantly, but I'm unable to replicate that now. But yeah, like they got killed by like the construction company accidentally running them over during their witches coven in a very dorky, derpy, Bruce Campbell-y style undead movie, and we've got to now fight off all of these snowmen so we don't get murdered. And the way that you could handle a sort of dynamic environment would be, you get a bunch more of these crazy monsters that can spawn per environment, and then let's say you're in the woods, and instead of just husks of trees, you got full-on dense foliage, and you're just wandering steadily through small clearings, fighting off, like, wood gnomes and dark, sinister snow golems. Like, these are like snow golems, snowmen. And then the reason why you're constantly progressing is because one of them, like, kicks through the fire at your campsite that starts the game, and the forest is on fire. And that leads you to, like, a Stonehenge, witch's coven, deep in the forest, and then you've got to fight through, like, these spirits and some old traps from, like, the old ones. There's all sorts of options at your disposal. And I like it, you know? There's something really fun about the animation and the art style. The sounds are a little on the sparse side, and the wind can kind of, like, eke at you after a while. It kind of wears on your nerves. But it's good. I think this could make a splendid, multi-directional, multifaceted game. And by that I mean, like, you could have this as a game mode. This could be like the arena game mode, where you gotta, like, your friends could either play with you, or you could have, like, up to 8 people. So there's, like, 4 lumberjacks / like, mounties, and then maybe the other people can play as different demonic snow creatures, like these snowmen. Yeah, that'd be perfect, I think. And then, you just duke it out for supremacy. How this ends, I couldn't say. You're the crazy game dev, and I'll leave that up to you. This was fun. It's simple. Not too much to see, but, you know, using the old kite skills, I'm able to sneak in here and try and kill this evil tree. If you kind of run into him, as you see, he'll wind up his attack, and then he'll stop as you walk away, because he can only aim if you're right next to the little notch on his kneecaps. That's how he lines up his chutzpah, his swing. He's a very old-fashioned tree, you know, even though he's got beats by Jack Frost. He's just trying to fit in with the young people, the young snowmen with their tree arms. So anyway, nice job. I like it. It just kind of needs, like, a little bit more variety, and I think you're good to go. And of course, it does fit into one screen, and I did like the little, the notification on the loading screen of only one screen was harmed in the making of this game. Alrighty, last but certainly not least, we've got Please Don't Touch Anything, also known as The Second Thought, and this is a story about a man who works in the nuclear bunker for some country. He needs to take a tinkle, so we're his friend, and we're gonna man the helm in case nuclear war breaks out and we've got to nuke Croatia's cities. I don't know. And this is a fun little puzzle game by Finlal, who there's a whole list of programmers here. There's Dmitry Lagutov, programmer, Dmitry Karimov, who's an artist, Alexander Vartazaryan, Alexander Goryeslavets does sounds and music. I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing these. I apologize in advance. But this is a subtle puzzle game, and you think to yourself, okay, I hit this big red button, and clearly the only thing left to do is flick the switch and ignore these buttons because that wasn't in my initial introductory plan, and then you hit the button and kablam! You destroy the city, and that's it. But wait, these little red lights down here represent alternate endings to the game, and you've got to start fiddling with the few controls in your midst in order to unlock the alternate endings. Now, the first ending is if you let it sit, your friend comes back from the bathroom and says, "What are you so flustered about? You weren't thinking about pressing the button, were you? Come on now, you gotta have a college education to run this machine. Clearly, you just need to go back to welding in the shop later. You're overthinking it, Jim. I swear." But nah, that's no fun. So it took me a while to realize that, unlike just hitting this button and flicking the switch and hitting it again, you can continue to hit this button and unlock other little puzzle pieces. Now, this got a little bit fiddly for me, And this game has got sort of like levels within levels, all sort of hemmed around this little sign up here. And it says, grab your screwdriver, grab your hammer, and work. And then there's all these bits down here. So what this is telling you is these are all little clues about how to handle the different components in the interface. So for example, this little button chart shows up here, and this relates to this UPC barcode and the width of the line. So that's like, what, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1. And then it opens up some new panels. I had no idea how to get past, like, this phase. Like, I kind of got around this area and started unlocking things like the screwdriver, which lets you unhook this panel. And that was the only thing I could figure out. I'm like, I can probably unhook this panel, and I crammed buttons until the screwdriver came out, and that was as far as I got. Handy that the team has released a guide, a cheat sheet, for you to unlock all of the different levels. And wow, this is one complex puzzle, and this stumped the heck out of me. But it's really cool. So let's just get started here. So this green panel here completely relates to these little arrow keys here. So let's hit, we start up here in the upper corner, the upper left corner, then we hit the upper right corner twice, and then the upper left corner again. And then the city gets destroyed by extraterrestrials. And that was awesome. And then you have to restart from scratch and unlock the next ending. And as you can see, each time you unlock an ending, you get a new poster to decorate your wall. I correlate this game to like an interactive one-frame children's story. You know, it kind of feels like a single area from like a game like Putt-Putt Goes to the Moon or like King's Quest, and you just gotta kind of like work out these weird combination of actions that aren't necessarily intuitive. They're kind of hidden in a lot of cases, and you've just got to go from there. And there's all these subtle hints, and it's maddening, but if you figure some of these out, like this is one of the ones that I did figure out. I looked at this, and I said, okay, this is probably really simple, it's colors. Well, after a while, I kind of looked at it and said, well, that's like green, red, yellow, blue, or like CMYK, yay being a graphic designer. So it's like green, red, yellow, blue, or clockwise. And that it inverts the colors on the monitor, turns them upside down, and then one of the endings is just yin-yang. And that's really cool. This is the sort of thing that you could incorporate into an interactive storybook setting almost. You know, you wander through and you have to like disarm a malfunctioning computer terminal that your friend Clarence is using as like his home PC to make like soundboards of poop noises or something silly. And then he accidentally is about to start like a nuclear holocaust and blow up the entire area, and you don't care, except once the bunker goes off and the missile won't go off and you're stuck inside this bunker with this nuclear destruction panel, and the only thing that you can do is disarm it, or else the facility will self-destruct because it can't fulfill its mission. So that's some kooky stuff right there. It's really cool. Oh, what is this? Alright, to the cheat sheet. This says, Bender panel. Solution hides in the numbers in the dual system. So these numbers here. So 16 equals 1 or 10,000. So you need to find a number combination that equals 13. I have no idea what this is, but it says the solution is 1101. So we just do 1101. Is this binary? This could be binary. Oh, look at that. Get Rock'em Sock'em Robot Dave comes to take over the town. I don't really know what to tell you. Like, I don't see too much that needs refining. I might just give like an introductory tutorial thing to try and introduce you to the mechanics, because this is very old school and it took me a while, and I like these kind of puzzle games, just to be able to figure out how to unlock just this panel and start unlocking the rest of them. It's kooky. I liked it. 1101. Oh, no, that's the laser robot again. I think if there was one thing that I could say you could do to refine this game a little bit, it would be adding in like an introductory level or an introductory tutorial that kind of set the stage if you were going to expand or refine this game. That way, people who aren't necessarily as familiar with these subtle point-and-click games, or people rusty like myself, could have a really easy in to kind of figure out how the logic works and what sorts of things they should be fiddling with or poking at, or if they should be poking the same button 50 times, because most people are thinking to themselves, I hit this big red button, and it kills people, and I hit it again and nothing happened. Oh well, but then they wouldn't think to like hit it another 20 times to shut the machine off. Except for me, after I start doing it out of frustration. So, yeah, these games have been awesome, everybody. Another awesome set of games for this game jam, and keep the suggestions coming. All 3 of these games were suggested to me recently, and I'm going to make sure to put at least one suggested game in every one of these episodes. So until next time, I've been your host, Larry the Chupacabra. Don't forget to like and subscribe, helps me out a whole bunch, and make sure you're voting, because the time to vote is almost over. And until next time, have a good one, everybody, and a wonderful holiday season. Bye!